the best ratings to speak, and that should kind of be the star players. But even then, I feel like it's not purely a ratings game. It's also based on other things. It's based on how good you can hold a site, where you can throw your utility, etc. All those things.
Well, let's see what they will do. We will be going into the map fairly soon. It's going to be Train. Just anyone's ball game. So far, we will think, guess, estimate, Winstrike will win, predict, it's whatever you can call it. It's just going to be hard. Big Academy is such a good shot, and it will most likely be another close map because why not?
Absolutely.
And then
it's probably also going to be a game of streaks again. You know, it's not going to be like 1-1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, it's not going to be 2 and 3. I think it's probably going to be another case of, okay, Winstrike puts down a really good T side, for example, but then surprise, Big Academy, they get in there and suddenly they decide, oh, but you know what, it's starting to look kind of close now, so we're just going to win 8 rounds in a row because we're not actually going to lose, you know, that's not in the game plan. And it's really, they can definitely pull it off. I think I would not be surprised at this point if we see something like that happen again. So on that note, let's fry straight into it.
Yeah, I think the match is now starting, and Winstrike, of course, seemingly strong, being on a high. But of course also wary of the next match to come afterwards. The winner of this map will have to play none other than Heretics, who have been quite strong against Team Kaizo. Of course also losing a fair amount of rounds. But let's see what this will bring. Against all the odds, you dare to say, Big Academy seems to be the favorite at this moment in time, looking at the V.GG odds. But I'm not too sure how long that will stay if Winstrike once more will get that pistol, because they've been really, really good at that so far. And if they will be able to once more get one of those streaks going, as you said before, like with the first frag in this knife round, it seems to be going really well for Winstrike this time around. And they will try to clear out the last 2 players, and most likely they will start on the CT side, because, well, why not?
Well, on Train, that is the most logical choice to make, we'd say. You know, it's definitely the CT side that's the preferred one. Well, so I wouldn't blame them for starting on that side.
It wouldn't be all too crazy. We're just biding our time. The players are just chatting and, of course, looking through their game plan. It is a very important match. If you win the match, you already get 500 euros. And of course, if you win the group, you get an additional 1,000 as well. So that is quite a bonus to have. And Winstrike is at least looking for the first payout to come. It is time to start. Of course, they will be on that CT side. And what will it bring to the table? It's going to be a very, very scary match for either team. And of course, most likely, another very close one as well.
And we'll see, is this going to be the map to end all maps, you could say? Is this going to be another grueling, long and challenging map, an ordeal, I'd almost say? Or is this going to be a bit of a more, well, how do I put it? A more concrete, a more thorough and clear one-sided win for either of the teams. We'll see. Honestly, taking a look at the buys right now, mostly armor on the sides of Winstrike, kind of to be expected. Okay, Nickelback off to a good start there, all the way around.
But now that might be a little bit of fake intel. We see Hades and the rest of the team going towards the B side. There will be 2 kills coming in from Crimson before he will be traded out. But Pandik on the long range, of course, being favored with that USP. However, he will not be able to get the kill. And now we still have a 2-on-3 situation pushing towards that side where Erwin will get the first kill. And that will mean a second as well, as he has that P250 in hand. A 1v2 right now for Nickelback. No, the fuse kit in his hands, will try to strafe around, gets the first, tries to pick on towards Panics, but where is he? He's right behind him, and that will mean the first round and kill to go to Big Academy. And let's see if they can actually follow up on that, because I think it's quite interesting. I'm not sure if they actually managed to win a pistol round so far in the 4 we've seen before.
Who knows? This might be a very positive sign for them. This might mean that they, before you know it, get a good start off, and that they will, well, what's a good way to put it? That they will see the light, that they will realize that this is...
the end of the train tunnel?
The end of the train tunnel, yes, the light at the end of the tunnel, I guess. Perhaps now that they'll finally realize that this is the one that they see now, how important it is that they need to win this map, that they actually need to secure their spot. But
Slacky with open and kill. Nickelback with a follow-up as well with that. Deagle's going to be Marvin also trying to fight, but it's not working. Big Academy is losing players by the second as now Bondik also takes down Penix, leaving only Enuin alive. He has an AK to work with and he's just standing by, tapping away one. Needs to find 3 more. And he's seeing that bomb, it's so far away. The smoke has dissipated and he will now see more players chime by, but the problem is he just can't make it work. They're finding angles. He knows that this is only a numbers game, and his numbers are slowly dwindling. It's going to be a 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3.
Spotted a leg. Oh, but those shots were not very clean. Might go for the second here. Nope, doesn't seem to be. Bondik pushes him ahead with the CZ. Winstrike gets the second round, and with that now, 1v1. It's off to a close start. It's a bit of to and fro, and it can go all sorts of ways. And so far, it's already given me giving me anxiety. I'll be quite honest. I'm already just frightened of.
Don't hyperventilate, RJ. I still need you. It's going to be that 1-1, and Winstrike is at least bouncing back already. But what else would you expect than a force buy then from Big Academy? Of course, after an eco, their economy still wouldn't have been too great. So why not just try to spend it all and see what you can make of it, as we do see some SMGs as well from the side of Winstrike. Scout from Lion also being used once more, hoping to make it work, as his angle from Lackey might actually work out wondrously, but he only gets a small tech onto its Marvin. Nickelback standing by, gets the first together with Bombik. It's a good refrag as Bombik will fall. That's the AK of the board. Still, it's a 4-on-2, and that's a very good result at this moment in time, looking at it being a force buy as well for Big Academy. Lion will get another kill, he will fall, but still, it's a good round for Winstrike, and they take the lead quite easily. But will they be able to streak it? It's something they've done before, it's something they've done time and time again, it's something they need to do now to put the pressure on towards Big Academy, who seem to be struggling the moment they fall behind.
Yeah, and right now it's also a bit of an economy struggle, so to speak. It's not the easiest situation that they're in, and they're going to be fighting off against M4s, an AK even, and it's just going to have to be another round that they might have to give off here. Don't stand much of a chance, and with that, it's going to be Winstrike that build up a little bit of a streak. They already started off quite early. Alien there with the first frag, Crimbo taken out with the MP9, of course.
He's just going for more, gets a triple kill, tries to go for the USP because swapping to your pistol is always faster than reloading. But unfortunately, he can't get the kill in, meaning we now have a 4-on-2. It's like he just well, easily swoops in and gets that frag. A 1v4, MP9 in hand, low HP, and of course a very small chance of winning this round. Will pick up the bump. If he gets the plant, it's a very lucky break, and it would be great for the side of Big Academy. The chance of them actually winning this is very, very small, meaning that, of course, we expect it to be a 3-1 in favor of the CIS region team, Winstrike.
And with that team, we'll see if Winstrike actually stands a solid chance, if they'll actually be able to keep this, persevere, and get on top of this map. Big Academy so far, odds looking less favorable. It's Winstrike who really have a good opportunity now to kind of build this out. They also should be able to start building up some reserves now. But Big Academy is also going to have a shot now to actually throw it back, to actually be, how do I put it, to actually provide some resistance to Winstrike, to that, how do I put it, the train that has been driving around in the station.
Well, sometimes things happen out of your control, and so far Big Academy has just been struggling. But now they have a scout instead of that AWP for Penix, which isn't always the best thing to work with. At least he still gets a kill on towards the line as the AWP from Winstrike dropped. And that's a big break that might actually be working with. And we'll see if it's going to be Big Academy already getting that first round in. After, of course, Winstrike had a small streak, but they're taking a risk. They're losing some map control. You see actually Winstrike playing quite up front, but they're also taking risks by doing that.
Well, you know what they say, in life you have to take risks sometimes, right? And that's part of it all.
Yeah, I heard a very cool abbreviation, YOLO.
Oh, there you go
Have
again.
you ever heard about it?
Oh, it's, you know, to be honest, I think it's getting out of style, man. I think you have to let it go.
Am I too old?
Yeah, I think so. I'm
Oh,
sorry,
no,
man.
that's
I'm
scary.
sorry to break it to you. I guess that's my maybe that's just me as well. You know, my youthful influence that's rubbing off on you a bit. But we'll see. Molly gets thrown out, and a potential push onto the B bomb site over yonder might get delayed.
Well, it's going to be a big delay indeed. 30 seconds left. Big Academy will be executing on towards the B side. First frag here for Nickelback. He'll fall straight away. Again, Panics with that scout just moving in. And Grimbo as well with a frag brings it into a 3-on-2 as Lackey, of course, knows how to turn it all around. The bomb has been dropped. Oh, this is a great angle from Bomb. They just playing the time. 10 seconds left. If he gets a player right there in front of him, just between the bomb sides, he will be able to possibly win the round. The time is running out. Panics, of course, with another frag. A triple kill for him in this round. And a 3-2 score. Big Academy making it work once more. But it's so scary because, well, they seem a bit volatile. Every time they do win a round, they just manage to lose one more. And then it becomes a streak for Winstrike. So they really need to bring something back in their own favor. And if they don't, well, we know who will be the winner.
That's a big question mark still for now. It's hard to decide based upon the first few rounds that we're going into, and, well, it can still go all sorts of ways. And I think, to be honest, I think right now the way it's looking, Big Academy could get another round here, start to keep the economy of Winstrike low, build up to 3 more rounds potentially. Winstrike gets another lucky frag at some point, maybe 2, and boom, they turn the match around and they go toe-to-toe. You know, it's not a game of streaks this time, but it's actually a game of really just being on each other's heels all the time. Of course, who knows at this point? I can't confidently make any predictions about these teams because things are just so up in the air. They're so hit and miss. But we'll have to see. We'll have to make the best out of it, of course. Making those predictions is, in part, our job, isn't it?
Grimbo just standing by. His feet just about to be spotted, but then he moves off. And now we will still have that 5-on-5 situation. A very slow round. Looking at what we've seen so far in the previous 2 maps. As it is still that 5-on-5 situation, 1 minute left, and a little bit of a cheeky spray from Bomb. They should be wary of players dropping as well. Flashbang comes in, peek from main as well. Panics with the first frag, brings it into a favorable position, but actually it's going to be Grison with a flank from his own, and Grimbo standing by will now fall.
Aww.
He will be shot down. It's now back to a 4-on-4 pressure coming in from Winstrike, as now Anwin will get a frag for Big. It is still that favorable lead for the side of Big, especially if the Germans now also take down Grison. It's going to be a side hold from Nickelback, but he will fall as well, leaving only a Lion alive in at 1v4. And I don't really rate his chances all too well.
But really, though, he could have gone for a knife there. Or is that just me? Am I such a...
No, like the chances of you actually hitting the back is very small because, of course, he was also
Yeah, because
angled.
he was crouching and it was a bit of a tough angle to hit. No, that's a fair point. I guess he played it safe. Oh well, it is what it is. Big Academy now look to win their 3rd round, and with that equalize the playing field out. And that gives Winstrike the opportunity, or well, not much of an opportunity, because their economy is not going to be all that great. It's only going to be Elian, and well, the vain hope that Elian doesn't get fragged by the end, although should be able to make it out alive. And with that, at least carry some sort of hero AWP along to the next round.
The AWP, of course, could really stop that momentum from Big Academy going in towards the side, especially holding an angle from Ivy towards main, where you would expect Panics to also peak. So far, the economy, as you said properly, it is in shambles, and it's going to seem as if the Germans are in a very good position at this moment in time. But we will have a very important round here. Who will take the lead? Most likely, of course, Big. The Winstrike with that AWP, and especially with their pistols, has been surprising more than once.
And well, who doesn't like a good surprise? Sadly, probably not Big Academy when Winstrike comes around the corner with a pistol in hand and suddenly, surprise, it's an eco, but Winstrike still manages to make the best out of it and actually turn it into a win or serious economy damage with Big Academy. That's definitely one of the mistakes that you can highlight on this team. And let's see, Krisen makes an attempt, but sadly does not manage to actually get any frags or barely even deals any damage, to be quite honest, leading to the B bomb site to be completely in Big Academy control.
It's Going to be a push through from the players of Winstrike, trying to at least get some weapons in their favor. This was, of course, keeping some cover for Alien, and that AWP now standing by. Smoke comes in from Enuin, means he won't be pushed all that likely. And now we see a slowdown. We're waiting.
Take it slow.
We're expecting a very easy bomb explosion to take part. Flashbang just to waste $200 and also give a little bit of a distraction, as there is a player pushing from Ivy. But we know there's an AWP on the side of Winstrike, and the line is holding a very long line towards Grimbo, who has decided to move away from the aggression. And then you dare to say, okay, they're leaving up at AWP. That's a little bit of a gamble. Of course, it's a lot of value for Winstrike around which they can now buy. But Big Academy is building so much reserves by keeping 5 players alive and doing really well in these previous 2 rounds that they have taken the lead. And if they manage to lose this round, they can just rebuy. No problem, no stress at all, no sweat on the forehead.
Absolutely nothing to worry about. We'll see now with the rebuy coming in. Both teams having a pretty decent-ish loadout, although utility being somewhat lacking with Winstrike. Then double AWP, though, really interested to see if that's going to work out well. It does start off pretty damn good with Alien getting that frag, 1 member of Big Academy out of the equation, whilst the rest sort of prances about a little bit. Not really having decided on a position yet, although it looks like they might be going through towards B halls.
Going to be lucky with another kill on towards Hades. Penix with his pistol just going in like a wild man. He's saying, well, if I don't win the fight, we've lost the round anyway, so we need to gamble it, and it seemed like Lecky was not expecting it. Now we're into a 4-on-3 situation. So far it's going to be Winstrike winning this round with the 2 more kills coming in as well. Only Marvin in this 1v4. And we know one thing, and that is that he is unlikely to win it. It will be equal numbers once more. And as we said before this match started, it will be very close. And so far it seems to be just that.
Just that and not much more. 4v4, equalizer on the floor. I tried to go for the rhyme there, but nah, that didn't...
That's not your job, RJ.
No, that one didn't go that smoothly, sadly. But oh well, better luck next time. Once again, taking a quick peek at the economy, you can see that, well, Winstrike here definitely holds the card, so to speak, but Big Academy isn't that badly off, so really, it's actually decent enough considering the fact that they just lost anyway.
Well, so far we see a lot of utility being thrown out by the side of Winstrike, none of which is actually hitting. But there are some smokes from Big as well to possibly put some pressure onto Winstrike. AWP in the hands of Penix, nothing out of the ordinary there, as of course he has been very valuable for his team. But that double AWP might come in clutch for Winstrike once more, being able to hold down those angles quite efficiently. And as you can see, there's only 1 player on that B side, and that is of course Lion, holding that angle, looking for that opening pick, but nobody is there to contest him. So is it really worth to have one of your star players just standing by? Well, it might be. So we do see the players go back up the ladder in Popdog, and will they go for a main execute with an Ivy split? I'm not too sure.
It's possible. It's starting to somewhat look like it, but is Crazy going to be able to hold that off? It looks like he did for a little while, but he didn't really manage to pull that through. 4v4, make it a 4v2, because Crimbo even does manage to really clean the whole place up. Penix and Hades finish it off, and Big Academy now get the 5th round. Kind of slower play being thrown in now, not as rapidly paced as it was before, with Winstrike now being 1 round behind, and Big Academy maybe here starting to get the upper hand.
Well, this was quite a crazy round to see. First, Winstrike actually doing pretty alright. 4-on-4 situation after Kristen was fragged out, and then out of nowhere, suddenly Big Academy just turns it all upside down. They have so much room. They've cleared out some of their offenders, and Winstrike possibly went a little bit too aggressive as well. And now you see them having a very mediocre buy. 1 AWP, 2 enforce, but then also actually the opening kill onto Enuin. Bondik with a follow-up onto Penix as well. That's some aggression coming in from Winstrike, and it's paying off, so why not do it every time, as we do see Marvin now getting 1 in return. Maybe a little bit too wide of a play from Bondik, but still that's the player lead.
The aggression doesn't always work, clearly, but it is something that Winstrike can pull off quite successfully most of the time. And with that, if they actually pull it off successfully, it can be incredibly damaging. We'll see now, though. We've got Krisen here. He's kind of holding the wrong angle because Crimbo is going to show up in his back. And with the utility being thrown now,
oh my
quiet,
god.
Double knife. I say double knife, never mind. Oh, I keep hoping for a knife, you know. I really want to see a knife.
Well, you've already seen a knife.
I know, but you can never really...
brat.
But yes, I know, but you can never really have enough, can you?
That's true, especially with the Zeus skill as well that we saw in the previous
We've had
matchup.
two of those.
It's beautiful just to see it and hear it out loud as we do see this bomb plant come in. Big Academy getting the round as, of course, Winstrike is deciding to save. A 2-on-3 retake on the B bomb side after just losing 2 players to some clear-cut executions. Well, even an executions. It is quite easy to just say, well, forget it. We have this AWP, we have this AK, a little bit of decent utility, a molly, and of course incendiary with a smoke. It's quite alright. You're just lacking, of course, a defuse kit and, well, also a lot of money on your team.
Yeah, just let it be. It is what it is. You can still catch up those rounds later on. At least that's what you are hoping for if you are Winstrike, of course, because it is dangerous, so to speak, if those rounds start stacking up. Here we see it again, the quiet, slow play, waiting to line up your shots instead of going straight for the frags. It's a classical move, but it's really solid.
Well, we do see a eco together with, of course, the weapon saved by Winstrike. So far, that AWP and the AK as well. It's going to be interesting to see if they can make their mark last round in a double opening kill. Threw it all away. Just by over-peeking, over-aggressing, as we now see Marvin being flashed in properly. He'll get 1 frag a line, of course, with a return frag. Gets a second as well onto Crimbo. It's going to be a Lion standing by for a third, possibly a fourth. No, he can't make the flick work, but luckily Lackey is standing there. Means we now have a 1v3 in favor of Winstrike suddenly, as Panics will now be traded out. It took some time for Lion to make things work, but luckily in this round they have one in return. 5-6 is the scoreline, and possibly they can make it back into equal numbers.
But see how this is going, you know, to and from. It's, how do I put it? It's no longer a game of streaks. It's really just like a ball being kicked forwards and backwards. It's like a game of ping pong. It's really not that consistent. And every time you also notice that their economy rather quickly goes down the drain, you know? Look at Big Academy. For a moment, Marvin actually had, I believe, over 10,000. But it's already gone because he had to buy for a part of his team. And see, it's these kind of things that suddenly just make the dynamics so difficult. They really throw things around, and Hades also decides to throw some stuff around along with Crimbo, where they both get a frag, and it's only Nickelback who can give an answer back. 4v3 now, and Winstrike not really looking like they're going to equalize, although Lackey here makes a good opportunity. Does have to check, though there's still someone else in Ivy, but he manages to get out just in time.
It's a little bit of an awkward fight. You see Lackey actually getting an angle towards the blue train, but from behind there will be the player carrying the bomb as well. It's going to be Panics, of course, the big ball man so far. Wrong timing on that play. And the problem is that the line now also gets a frag onto Maven. It's going to be Panics with a scaredy jump, but still 50 seconds to work with. And a 1v2 with half HP. Possibly still doable. 1v1 has a great read there on towards Lackey. But he's not expecting Bondik to stand on towards the side and hit his shots. We now have Winstrike bringing it back to a 6-6 scoreline. And boy, oh boy, it's getting closer by the minute. But still, none of these teams is able to pull away.
And it's just... it really is, like I said, I wouldn't surprise if we end this first half with just 7-8. Nice and close together, no really clear dominant team. And then we just go to and from again in the second half, and oh, surprise, overtime. You know, I really see it happening.
You promised me 5 overtimes, so I want to see 5 overtimes, as we do see pistol armor from the side of Big Academy.
I think I would go mad.
Utility as well, going towards B. There's an AUG. It's Krisen standing by, and he's throwing in a nade on the fly, as Lackey is also currently at ramp, but maybe over there it will be a little bit damp. push is coming in, and Lecky is standing in to get some frags for his team. He's trying to get to, he will, whilst being flashed. Refrag is coming in as well. It's going to be Grison with a frag of his own. Will get a second before being traded. And looking at the investment from Big Academy, it's looking quite alright. The problem is that the bomb has been dropped quite far away from the last player. A bomb plant would have been a nice addition as well. But still, they lose the lead. As Winstrike doing quite alright for themselves, hoping to get on towards 8th and at least have the lead after the first half.
That would be at least a good thing to start with. They are on the CT side as well, of course, which you could argue is perhaps a little bit favoured, but not really that much. It's not Nuke that we're dealing with here, but still, there is perhaps a very slight preference, but it's negligible. I think, honestly, Winstrike can be happy if they end this first half with 8 rounds, and that then they can actually work on the T side, which might line up a bit more with their aggressiveness. It starts off well this time. Panix, though, has to sacrifice himself to get that frag. Luckily, Bondix and Lackey are also present. Marvin, in the meantime, barely any HP left, leaving only Anwin and Marvin on Big Academy's side. Anwin kind of stuck in main, but he does equalize it out because he gets to frag Elian. And now it's 2v2.
But look at the bomb, it's still outside of Popdog, and that makes it really hard for the side of Big Academy. They have to commit towards his side, and as another kill comes in on towards Marvin, it seems to be a 2-on-1. AWP, of course, able to clear out players quite effectively as long as it's a body shot. But we're just waiting for Anwin to do something, and so far he's just biding his time, trying to sneak towards Popdog. There's another smoke to go there. That's, I believe, the 3rd or 4th already going to the same angle. And now he's there and he's figuring, well, maybe the bomb is slightly in the smoke.
This angle is gonna
but
be
it's
checked.
Not in the smoke, and he's just waiting.
Oh, no.
Grison might actually give him a
timing.
freebie, but he's now moving up. Oh, Anwin. When the smoke will
timing.
dissipate,
He's gonna be
he
killed.
might actually be lucky.
Oh
but
my!
Actually, Grison has actually expected this. Sentry now going towards the bomb. It's going to be Grison for the last frag as well. You were so worried, but
Anwin missed the critical shot there. There could have been a kill. He missed that AWP shot. The timing was great. Could have actually had a frag.
But the
and
smoke
then,
was still there.
Yeah, the smoke was still there, but I believe that like Kristen was just looking away at the wrong time, so he could have been fragged, could have recovered the bomb and gone back up ladder. No.
No, it's because he already went behind the train, so Kristen has actually played it to perfection, as of course he knew the timing from the smoke he threw himself. And we're now waiting for
my hopes are way too high for Big Academy, clearly.
You're just hoping that Big will go big and not
go big
home.
or go home. Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
well, look at his buy. It's a little bit shabby. We've seen them do well with some worse stuff as well. So we do see a Mac 10, some Galils, and of course the Scout from Panic, which has been possibly even better than his AWP play. So we're biding our time. It's going to be a light, of course, in the opening kill, as he has an aggressive peek towards the B ramp, as we're now seeing a 5-on-4. Counter util being thrown. Winstrike is saying, all right, we have the opening frag. No more need to pressure. We're just slowing things down. Seeing how this round will progress, and now it's going to be Big Academy trying to execute somewhere, but Lackey, of course, once more with a kill. He's doing so much for his team, as it is now a 5-on-3 situation. 2 opening frags so far. The bomb is seemingly going towards B, but they're still split out. They don't know what they're doing, as now one player will go towards side. It's going to be Hades, caught in the open, but still getting the kill on towards Grison. Trying to blend as well with his teammate, but then there will be the flag from Bondik. And where's Marvin? Wait, he's still in A main. He's a little bit pondering on what to do, and it's a 1v4, 30 seconds left on the clock. And this halftime, I dare to call it, will be 8-7 as the Lion gets the last frag. And it's going to be Winstrike. Oh, I said 8-7, it's 9-6, of course, I'm silly.
Oh, it's okay, you know, no hard feelings. Definitely, by the way, Align there on the end, that was kind of Align, I think, in that entire first half, when it was needed, getting the critical the first kills in the rounds, I've noticed. Definitely a player that was a kind of, well, a highlight for me, so to speak. You can also see it in the leaderboard. Even has slightly more frags, but it's the assists that put Lackey back, well, kind of on top.
Well, the lucky thing is that the team that wins here gets a reward. Of course, 500 euros, and to be able to play another best of 3 against Team Heretics.
But is that really a reward when you think
is.
about it? Because They must be tired.
It's another chance for 500 euros.
Oh, no,
Come on.
absolutely. Absolutely. No, no, no. I'm not
They've
doubting
been
that.
pugging for years. They've been ready for this.
They were born ready.
Born ready. Let's see what
Born
they
ready
can
to
do.
win.
It's going to be Winstrike, of course, 3 rounds up after this halftime, 9-6 in their favor. And let's see if they can actually make it work as well on towards the second half. Big Academy will now try to do what they can on that CT side, possibly favoring them. And when they win the pistol, they can bring it back. Just believe. Don't stop dreaming. Hold on to that feeling.
Wow. As always, so poetic. But we'll see if they don't stop believing. It starts off well, at least. There's some opening frags, but Hades kind of, well, stops the party a bit early. In the end, it is Lackey who can throw it back a little bit, but Panics is immediately back to take out Nickelback. Big Academy has the plant. And with that now, we've got only Elian left.
Well, Elian will fall as well to Nguyen as he got 2 kills in that retake. Quite convincingly so far by the side of Big Academy, not really too stressed out on that one. And that will mean that they at least will get one of their rounds in return. The overlay is currently slightly bugged up, and that will be fixed in due time. But so far it's going to be a big chance for Big Academy to bring it back home. But would you expect a force buy? I dare to say yes.
Yes, it's pretty much a given at this point, and you can see it. You can see the money, how do I put it? You can see the money dwindling down already. Probably, I'm saying maybe even at this point, yeah, you can see a Galil here or there. What is that, an AK already?
There's 2 Galils, 1 Scout, of course, that Mac 10, and then a Deagle to work with. Is it actually an MP7? That's quite interesting.
Yeah, that's
you don't
wild.
see them all too often. Kristen trying to change things up as we do see Nguyen going low. That must have been a hit from the Scout of Elian, as it's going to be like with the first frag onto Crimbo as well. Seems like the defense is crumbling as they're under pressure, and well, tears are about to begin to form as we do see a player going up this ladder. It's going to be Bombing. Going to kill the Galil. Now also Kristen moving in with that MP7, getting another frag in their favor. Big Academy in a 2v5 and in a world of trouble as well. They're still on the prowl. They get another kill. There's only Marvin alive in a 1v5. And he's now also going down to Bombing. 10-7 Winstrike. Again, being able to bounce back when they lose a round.
But it's that capability of being able to bounce back that is so vital for them, I believe, especially now when they're getting closer and closer to potentially map and match point, of course. For simpleness sake, I'm just going to say match point because this is, of course, the final map in this best of 3, and whomever wins this one wins the match. Winstrike, I think, needs that versatility, kind of that flexibleness to be able to really say, even after they potentially have to give off a round or two, that they can just immediately come back and that they can fly straight back into it and try and preserve their advantage or build it further up. Because right now, they're 3 rounds ahead of Big Academy. That's really not that bad. They just have to make sure that they stay ahead of them.
Of course, with Big being on the CT side, they know that they will be a little bit more easily able to get those rounds in, but, well, will they? That is the question. Force by, of course, coming in from the CT side. Deagle's armor all around. A few flashbangs just to make it work, possibly with a few peeks. But now we will see the side of Winstrike using more of their utility to try and bait out something from Big. Push towards the A side from just one player with the MP7 in hand. Of course, it will be Lackey. But Panics with the first frag, as there will be a refrag as well. Kristen scared of someone in Pop Dog, but your teammate is already pushed through, and they might actually rotate back towards the A side with a frag to come in. Hades to fall. Player at main going to be Nguyen with one. A good tag, but not a kill. He will fall. As Crimbo is the player to trade around. A 3-on-2, and there will be pressure towards his side. Not a great spray from Nickelback. At least he will get the frag in, and that means we are now in a 3-on-1. The plant will come in soon, unless if the bomb player keeps moving away. And that means Winstrike is biding their time, losing another player. Lion will fall. And Marvin now the 1v2, but look at the time, it's still dwindling down. They either have to go for the plant or for the kill, as they are now trying to move across towards the B side. They managed to win it with an 11-7 scoreline.
Still a surprisingly damaging economy, or well,
It was a force
It
buy,
was
of course.
yeah, but still a surprisingly damaging one, though. Although you could kind of argue a force buy, you'd expect it to have as much result as possible. And is it really that much?
It's going to... I'm quite interested to see what Winstrike will do right now. And it's going to be Big Academy trying to do something majestic. We have heard a small update, of course, because of all the overtimes we've seen so far, which have been quite a few, and of course also some very tense matches. We want to give these teams some rest as well. And this will be the last series we will be broadcasting today. Tomorrow we will start a little bit earlier to, of course, catch up on the winners match we would have broadcasted after this. There will be either Winstrike or Big Academy taking on Heretics. And that could, of course, still go either way. Now we do see the anti-eco going fairly well, of course, still losing 2 players on the side of Winstrike, but that is within the margin. And now they are even further ahead, looking forward to a buy from Big.
All according to plan, you could say. But yes, the plan for Winstrike now is seeming pretty clear-cut. Get that advantage bigger and bigger, keep the economy of Big Academy nice and low, so that they don't stand much of a chance, whilst Winstrike here pumps up their reserves, which they are already doing quite well, and keeps the Big Academy on the ground. Should also just make sure that they actually manage to get on top of a site. It's all going to come down to the Big Academy defense, which is also a sort of offense by the looks of how aggressive these positions are that they're taking up on main. Oh, but Lackey here is going to get caught on a nasty spot, I think, unless this Molly does force them out on time.
Of course, there was a little bit of a trade in utility going in favor, possibly, of Big Academy. That Molly already being out of the equation means that won't be pressure towards the side later on. Bondik looking at the floor, of course, don't want to be wallbanged right there. Teammates will fly in towards Bobdog, but so far, no real pressure coming there from Big Academy on their CT side. Interesting, of course, to see no AWP or a scout for the CT side. Something we've seen Panics do very well on before. But well, with the pressure they've set as of now, Hades will be stuck. And it's a wallbang from Lackey. The read coming in, and actually no response from Hades as well. And that means we now have a 5-4 situation. Big Academy losing a first player without actually seeing an opponent. And that's going to hurt them for a little while. The execute will go towards the A side as well. First kill from Crimbo, but the trade is there. Of course, Edwin also with an angle gets a double for himself. But will still be alive. A triple even. Only Bondik alive in a 1v3, and he will fall to Panics. And that's the first round for Big Academy in quite a while, but at least it is a round to remember. And a round to possibly put some pressure on towards Winstrike, who, well, still have a lot of money, so they don't really care that much.
No, it isn't the end of the world for them, but it is a sort of a big, a good dent in Winstrike's advantage, I suppose. That's the main focus for Big Academy right now. They have to get these, they have to play catch-up with these 4 rounds that they're running behind. And they have to make sure that they can once again get to the milestones, the double digits first. From the double digits, they can get to the 12. And from there on, you know, they can start thinking, okay. So we just have to win 3 more rounds. Then we can force overtime.
All right.
And then we can actually get a win after like 4 or 5 for overtime.
5 at least.
Yeah, that's the Big Academy tactic.
Won't settle for less as Kristen is now moving up. He's been tagged up quite a bit as Panics now has the first frag on to Lackey as well. That's a very good opener with the AWP, and still no pressure to come out from Winstrike as we see Edwin get another kill, anchoring on towards his A side. The problem is they now lose their upper. Damage already being dealt, players being low, nades of course being a factor, but again, trigger finger, it's going to be Crimbo almost falling, but still getting the kill. And the bomb as well. A 4-on-2 remains until a Lion gets a frag onto Edwin, makes it into a 3-on-1 because of course the crossfire is there from the defense. And Winstrike is out in the open again, possibly losing another part of their lead. And it could get close.
Does look like the bomb, I think. At least I can't see it anywhere on the map.
It was dropped on the A side, of course, around that old hell area where Crimbo got that frag down. He tried to play it smart. He hoped there would be a second player. Almost lost his life. And I think if he would have been fragged right there, the round would have gone to Winstrike, because they would have had a little bit more room to work with. Still would have had that bump. But now it seems like Winstrike is on the losing end. And with the time dwindling down, Bondik is possibly trying to save. That's not working out for him too well, or at least, well, he is saving that weapon. But they won't be winning this round. 12-9 will be the score. The CT side slowly edging their way into this half again. Trying to get closer and closer. But still, both teams have won 3 rounds on this half so far, so none of them are excelling.
No, it's still Winstrike that carries the advantage, but of course the advantage getting slimmer and slimmer every time. And that's kind of the, well, part of the problem, so to speak. Now Winstrike seems to have lost its momentum, and it's the momentum that they need so badly to make sure that they actually keep this up, that they have a, well, actually good chance that they can now get those 2 more rounds that they might need, give it those 3. But it is really just a case of them grabbing a good opportunity here or there. They are on the T side, so they do need to go on the offensive. And I suppose that at this point might actually be part of the challenge. Winstrike seems to have a rather hard time now finding a good opportunity, finding a good place to enter in with the offensive. Although this time round through Ivy it seems to succeed. First frag coming in there. First player on the Big Academy side going down.
It's the classic Chris and Go frag, and that is exactly what he does, as we do see Hades close by here on Popdog, still standing, trying to get a frag in, but he's pondering, he's wondering, and he doesn't know as of yet what he can do, as of course he's lost one of his teammates, an important teammate. Nickelback has been strong so far on this map, and there's still so many players left to find. Winstrike is slowly trying to get an angle in, and I'm not sure whether they're going. They're trying to force their way towards the B side, and they still have to run a very long mile, but they will actually expend themselves on towards the A side. Bondik with a frag on towards Hades. Popdog cancelled out. As Crimbo is trying to get frags, he will try to get a third, but he's on fire. And of course Nickelback is there to get the frag as well. Things it's now a 3-on-2, and we do see the side of Big Academy struggle once more. The bomb to be planted very soon, as Marvin is holding the angle. He spotted a player on green train, trying to find the angle. But he's moving away, and none of the players are actually showing. He does see the barrel, will tag him down a little bit, but the Lion still alive. And that will hurt him in the time to come. 2 against 3 is going to be a Lion, but frag on towards Panics. And of course, Nickelback will finish things off. 13-9, 3 more rounds for Winstrike. They will win this map and series.
Well played there by Winstrike in the end. It was a bit challenging for a moment. That wallbang could have also been terribly painful, but at the end, nothing really came through of it. Bondik with a lovely frag though, once again in ladder room. Also well done by him. And at the end, all those factors come together to cause Winstrike to win a 3rd, or well, I suppose this is their 4th round in this half, if I'm not mistaken. My maths is on point sometimes.
Numbers stuff
and things and calculating. But anyway, what I can also calculate is that Winstrike is now 3 rounds away from a potential match win. And if they get that, they will be facing off tomorrow. But it starts off not so favorably for them. However, it gets turned around nicely. Chris along with Nickelback get a triple kill, make it a 4K in the end. Only Crimbo left standing on the Big Academy side, and oh dear, what's he gonna do? Not much, besides drop dead. Which means Winstrike only need 2 more rounds. At the very least, they should probably have map and match point in a rather swift round now in any moment. But that does mean that things start to get dangerous for Big Academy. Within only 2 rounds, they could lose their shot at the at a potential final spot of this A group, and they might be thrown down to the lower bracket.
That's something you don't want, especially not on the first day of the tournament. We see a lot of utility flying out towards the A side, trying to contest Big Academy. Are now happy to have finally bought back in towards this round. AWP on towards Panic, but not getting the angle just yet. Molly's all over the place. Grison with an opening frag gets a second as well as the AWP down. And of course, Hades, the anchor. Crimbo tagged up by a nade as Enwin is the first player to get a kill in return, but he will fall as well. Marvin doing some work, and it's Crimbo just biding his time, just standing there, just crouching, waiting for the team to do something. As we do now see another smoke to come in towards Connector. The bomb can be planted, but Crimbo is trying to move around, trying to fake it out, but he'll move back as well. It's getting close. 1v2. Low HP on the line. Of course, Grison himself isn't too healthy either. What will Krimbo be able to do? He's waiting, and the smoke will dissipate fairly soon. No defuse kit at this moment in time. Maybe there's one on the floor, and I think he's trying to find it as well. But so far he can't, and he's just trying to get a good chance for himself to get the defuse in later. But he's losing time finding that defuse kit. And trying to find these players as well. In Olofmeister, you have Grison. He's still standing by, and of course you can't really clear him out. And it's going to be the round for Winstrike. Possible match point right here, but we've seen them choke a lead before 2 times already in the series. Will they be able to eventually bring it home? Or will they be able to throw it into overtime once more? It's going to be aligned with the last frag onto Krimbo. No weapons gained for Big Academy in this round. And now they are on a terrible economy, 15-9, and just a force buy to work with.
Yes, that is a dire, dire outlook for them. That might very well mean that they don't even stand a chance anymore at this point, that they actually, well, they're going to, of course, they're going to have to force this, but there is no chance whatsoever, basically. The best they can have is some SMGs here and there, some utility, but mostly pistols. It's really not much to work with. And that is a very, very tough situation for them. Who knows, maybe they can make the best out of it, but it's not to be expected. After the start, they do manage to deal some damage using that utility, but already the first member on the Big Academy side goes down, and things for Winstrike are looking better and better by the second.
It's going to be Winstrike being able to close things out, especially with the first 2 frags going in their favor. Lion also taking down Krimbo right here. Eventually they walk into their own flames, but still they have the A-side control. Bombik with a frag onto Marvin. Penix, the only player to do something in return into this round. They're now swapping over towards the B-side. The sole 2 players alive from Big Academy are way off their marks. And a flank, they might try to do that via Popdog, but there's still a player standing by. And it's seemingly going so well for the side of Winstrike. Just waiting for this match to end in their favor, but Penix isn't done yet. He gets the first on towards Grison, trying to find more, but he'll fall to Bombik. Only Enwin alive, and he's in connector. He will fall as well, 16-9. And we do see eventually Winstrike winning it with a 2-1 map lead.
And well deserved by Winstrike in the end. A way faster map in the grand scheme of things, played out way, well, smoother and way cleaner by Winstrike, I dare say. Better frags this time, way smoother playing, better utility usage, and that all around gives you the end result of Winstrike winning this map and, of course, also this match.
And that means they have now also gained 500 euros in their favor by winning this first match in their group stage. And tomorrow, not today, they will have to play against Heretics as well. Due to the time, due to the delays of course, this excitingly close match, we have postponed the match against Heretics for the side of Winstrike until tomorrow. Let's have a small look at the brackets after what we've seen so far. Heretics won in their first match 2-0 against Team Queso, but had a little bit of struggle in the first map. And now we've seen a very big struggle for both teams in the second series. Winstrike eventually winning it, and that means that tomorrow we will start with, I believe, Heretics taking on Winstrike. It was a little bit off. Big Academy stood there, but no worries.
No
and then
problem.
In the second series, we will have Big Academy taking on, of course, Team Queso. And, well, let's see what the cheesy stretch will bring tomorrow.
What the cheese platter will bring to the plate, so to speak, or however you want to wrap that analogy around, you know. Doesn't matter that much. In the end, it does mean that we've got another whole bunch of exciting matches ahead tomorrow. Perhaps with just as much overtimes as today, or perhaps even more, if you can imagine it. We'll have to see. So far, it clearly does seem that the teams that we are having in this competition are very well matched with each other and are really able of providing some amazing Counter-Strike to watch.
What was your biggest takeaway from